This call is being recorded.
I am recording this conversation, so please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions at all whatsoever. That's not a
Okay.
problem. Um, Other than that, I have your natal chart pulled up. Oh, that's what
Which house
we
system do
do.
you use?
Oh, such a great question. So I use equal sign, but I blend that with
Okay.
the whole and the placidus.
Okay.
So yeah, once again, please don't hesitate if there's anything you want to mention or ask. Go ahead. Right off the bat, I already see that you're alien gang. So
Yeah.
I'm going to share an alien construct article when I send you this recording. And you have one of the more stronger and powerful alien constructs. So I'm very excited to really at least talk about this, break this down. It seems to be the core feature of your chart. Oh my Jesus, like you have Pluto and Saturn in Scorpio, which would be
Yeah.
one thing. Then it's on the MC and the South Node. So like you're literally the pure queen goddess of destiny, fate, and karma all at once. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
I definitely believe that something's out there pulling strings.
And it looks like it's you and your Capricorn moon. Seriously. Um, yeah, no, that's very fascinating. I even see you're okay, so your moon is 2 degrees Cap and then Neptune is 29 Sag, right? So
Hmm.
normally like this article you'll read wants a 10-degree like orb, but um I'm gonna count that as like an indirect Neptune vessel contact. So that means as a Neptune vessel alien, you can read others' minds and auras, you can hypnotize others, you could read psychically, you can cloak yourself in invisibility, you can read other souls and see their greatest potential, you can conjure illusions and fantasies and assist the dying and crossing over. And I'm gonna share that link because there's so much more there. To your chart really is so awesome because Capricorn moon power is the most powerful soul power. And so to have this in the 12th house, and that's why I'm glad you asked what chart system I use, because being a 29-degree Capricorn rising is so gangster. It's super gangster. Because Saturn rules your chart and it's in the ruler Scorpio on the MC in the 10th house where it likes to be, even though this would be technically the 11th house in like the whole sign system, it still falls right into the 10th because majority of um, Aquarius looks seems to be your first house. But the way I kind of blend this is I take the rulership of the 11th and I count it as an 11th house energy that's in the 10th. So this is how I blend it with Placidus. But not only is the ruler of your chart giving you the full on pure social karmic authority and Scorpio, but at that soul level, you're subconsciously directing the power of all this pure energy that you're spiritually aware of. It is super extreme quality. I mean, I want to do a documentary on some Pluto Scorpios because I feel like no one will ever understand how like purely supernatural and psychic y'all are. It's ridiculous. So whenever I see that with another like and Saturn, Mercury, we're gonna go into like Mercury's processing, but that blows my mind. Like it's one of the strongest and most powerful constructs. So that's one thing. But like to be a vessel of the 29, so now your intuition, like what I'll say about those born in like 97 or 98, they have like 29 degrees Neptune in Capricorn before it goes into Aquarius. So whenever I give them readings, I'm always like, yo, y'all have the most powerful intuitions ever, like of all time in generation because of that, because of where your rising is. So you would actually be an instrument of a lot of their intuitive quality where they'll just be more intuitive around you. But you have a 29 degree Sagittarius right on the 12th house cusp at that, which once again blows my mind again because Saturn's next to the MC in the 10th where it likes to be, but Neptune is textbook on the 12th. And there's a subtle intuitive magic to Neptune that's just it's magical, but it's also terrifying because it's like, oh my gosh, this exists. But this is the full-on peak mastery. It's honestly one of the most magical, intuitive magic. I don't want to call it energy, but abilities um ever. I would say the only thing more magical than that is 29 degrees Neptune Pisces, but that will fluctuate. So sometimes the Sag will be. And so this is a full on mastery of clairvoyance. It could kind of also go into astral projection and lucid dreaming, but this is full on clairvoyant mastery. In the 12th house of hidden potential and secret abilities, this could really be purely subconscious where you're not even fully aware of the fact that you induce this supernaturally magical experience around you and others collectively based off of the subconscious patterning of what you train your attitude to believe. Because with the moon here, this is at such a divine supernatural level that as like the it's complicated because you're not directly consciously thinking, I'm having a good day, I'm having a good day. But physiologically, like everything you're believing and feeling is reflecting real time in your reality, which happens at such a minute level, it's not really measurable. And then the 12th house, this could be very misunderstood because a lot of the insight you gain is not going to be measurable because it's extra dimensional and it's beyond human comprehension. So science is not really caught up to this. I think quantum mechanics has gotten close, but the level of power you harness this at is at a level beyond, which is very important because this is now directly in the house of hidden enemies. You're going to be able to sense the nature of someone's soul, but see with Sag, you're seeing it. And it converts in Cap where you see it in people's body language and the meaning of the actions they take, where someone has picked their nose and you're like, oh my God, that's a serial killer. And now people are like, you're delusional. Like, he's such a nice guy. How is he a serial killer? Meanwhile, they don't know you have Pluto on your sun. So, like, you have X ray vision. Like, you can literally see how pure someone's spirit is. You can look them in the eyes and psychoanalyze them in a literal instant. And so, on top of that, being able to read their soul is just another level of just like god tier, goddess level power and energy. But does that resonate with you at all as far as the Neptune? Because I
Absolutely.
want.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have like a big theory about 29-degree Neptune being more inclined to interact with the spirit world. And
Yes. Oh,
I don't
yes.
know, everything. I mean, yes, you definitely, it's been very resonating or resonated well so far. I think I was put here to bring magic, religion, and science together and to prove to the world magic still exists so that they can empower themselves.
Oh, God bless you. I just had chills. Thank you. Like that's really my passion. Like that's all I realized. That's why I was just so like enamored over it because if we take that you just said, that was your legacy, that was your destiny, right? So your legacy is your MC, your destiny is the North Node, your karma is Saturn, right? And so Neptune actually represents the astral realm. It's the extra dimensional connection through our imagination to the astral realm. So you're right. And I think what you said is more of a theory. It's your reality. It's the reality where
Yeah.
Neptune directly through your soul connects you to the spirit realm. And so you're reflecting real time, like the highest spiritual meaning of what someone's doing here and how that reflects in from up there to down here. I wish I could
You can
word that
definitely see
better.
how their actions affect their karma. You can tell when people are digging themselves in a hole or when they're finally getting out of one.
And that's so significant for you to say because not only are you in the most complex special relationship with karma, you are for all effects and terms a karmic lord, a karmic goddess. This is what it means to have the alien construct, the Saturn power alien, which you'll see when when you see the article, the
I've seen this
Pluto
thing.
power.
I followed one of your podcasts into that website. It's amazing.
Yes. Okay, that's awesome. I'm still gonna reference it, so it'll still be there.
Yeah,
But
that's fine. I'd love that.
yours is one of my favorites. I'm fascinated with the Pluto sun, and of course, anything in the Cap or the Neptune is so awesome. Even like I want to kind of extend on this article because I want to make a case for personal planets, and then also you have Venus on Uranus, so like your heart instrument of very causal, extra dimensional Uranian magic. Like everything about your chart is bringing magic from that realm and grounding it here. So that's why I
My
really
whole
love
plan.
everything because that's literally the pipeline from Scorpio, the pure unconscious energy, to Taurus, 27 degrees, um, grounding it with the
Oh,
fullness
that
of
makes perfect
creativity.
sense.
Yeah.
Planet
And
from
that's
like
why
the ethereal into the physical. That makes sense. Unseen
I
into
got
the physical world, the sensible world.
right into the physical, like grounding it fully. And that's what blew my mind when you kind of just said what you said, because it's like, wow, you're so tapped into what you're meant to do. You're living it. It's like you're not only living it. If it's hard for me to put this into words, but like the irony, like what I've learned to love about seeing, it's very, very rare. And Scorpio is also rare as a quality, but in order to have Saturn, MC, and the nodes together, while your moon's on Jupiter, that is wild. And yeah, Jupiter might be in its fallen cap and the moon might be in its detriment, but since you have Mars and its exaltation, that actually makes the most of. I don't really acknowledge detriment or falls too as bad things, but if it was a challenge, Mars kind of makes this now more incredible. I really believe in positioning, so everything's meant to be where it's at. But once again, like we have to be clear here. Not only do you have this supernatural magic ability and power, you are definitively a master of karmic destiny. So, like, the Saturnian power gives you authority. The whole notion of Saturn returns is when we turn 30 and we now gain authority over our field, right? Or if you fail that, you have to kind of regain it, right? If you realize you didn't have integrity. But for those who have integrity, bam, you're now an authority there. You're establishing authority. So Saturn represents your relationship with authority or what your authority is. You have Saturn in Scorpio, which is socially complex authority. It's psychological authority, which would be one thing, but you have Sun Pluto, so this is giving you the most extreme authority over the underworld. Before we kind of ground this into more sociocultural understanding, this is some of the strongest ability to command dark and impure spirits. I like to think of Scorpio as the sauce. So like Pluto is the sauce master. It generates the purity of the sauce, and like you have the keys. You have the full authority to command all of this pure energy and generate it. And we have to once again think of authority because this commanding power enables control. So what are you able to control? Destiny. And not only destiny, but the MC fixes this in your legacy so much. Your legacy here attached to the 11th and the 10th is aligning with your career, this community leadership, where you're taking the resources of the people who you gather, people who come into magic and understand this occult wisdom. You're literally coming into this lifetime with the total pure occult wisdom that you came and learned so that you can manifest that, which is everything that you said really. But it's just amazing to see how you're bridging. What you're bridging in is a legacy that you've had from beyond this lifetime, and for you to
Oh
be so
yeah.
sad, it's just so symbolic. It's so amazing. By the way, 27 degrees is my rising sign, Taurus, so it's very symbolic that you're
Oh
speaking to me.
wow.
Yeah, it's almost as if I'm helping anchor it just by like we're like
Actually,
helping
that
each
brings me
other
to
really.
another question. I'd like to be able to give you a tarot reading and then maybe have you, say if it was good or not, with a way to
Oh
build
my
a community for myself. But I
I
need to
would be
find out how
honored.
to get myself out there. Yes, you would.
I would be so honored.
I would love to do that. So I'll send you one in the same email address or whatever, if that's okay.
Yes, that is totally fine. And thank you so much.
And I only read when the sun's down, which is funny about the dark energy thing. So I'll probably do that tonight.
Oh, that's so awesome. And thank you for saying that because that makes sense of, you know, the moon being in Capricorn too. I've always had the theory that maybe the power's just stronger in the dark too, or when the moon's out rather. Um, or you just tune in easier. But
I just don't want
that's
the
amazing.
sun.
That's deep. That's deep. Um, Especially with all the Scorpio energy you have, like it's an extreme purity that you represent and extreme wisdom that you're making real. So yeah, that's the Scorpio portion. So once again, my rising is 27 and
That's wild.
your rising is 29, right? Drake and President Trump, they're 29-degree Leo risings. So I've come to learn that the mastery of the AC is paramount. Like it really is
29
significant.
degrees, Leo?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I know somebody else who's got that rising degree. Who's
Wow.
also on
That's
the
the
path of
fixed
trying
star
to
regular.
improve that.
What was that?
He's a musician. He's also on the path of trying to like bring in magic back to the world and the rightness, and not have us all be in this illusional world of lies.
Oh, amen. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. And oh, I'm just so glad that call is there and like it's happening because you're gonna see in your lifetime this completely succeeding. In fact, you know what the most amazing thing about this is? You just unlocked it. In less than 6 months, the North Node is gonna be realigned with your
Yes,
North Node.
yes,
And
I've
that's
been
gonna be
worried about that.
it's going to be extraordinary because the North Node's going to go there, and then eventually Jupiter and Uranus is going to catch up to there. So the North Node realignment is going to turn the desire because you were headed in a direction. Once the North Node realigns, it's a reality. Like you have
Okay,
accomplished it,
sweet.
and now you're unpacking it. And then Uranus and Jupiter are going to go over and expand it, and it's gonna. I was gonna say in your lifetime, you're gonna see your destiny come true, but it looks like it's gonna be starting next year too, which is amazing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, especially with Jupiter next year in your second house. So you're going to be manifesting the divine nature of your ability. So that's the way I blend it, right? Because Pisces is your third house. And this is where we have to honor the mastery. 29 degrees Capricorn AC is definitively the most powerful rising sign. Power. It's the most powerful element, which will be one thing. But then you also have Mars in its exaltation with Jupiter in Capricorn. So compared to any other 29-degree Capricorn rising, we have to also bring this very determined mastery of control. I really look up to Mars in Capricorn because I have Mars in Aries. So like before I can
Oh
think
yeah.
about what right? It's like before I can be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I already did it. And it's like I'm learning to control and organize instead of just recklessly wing my way through life. But I mean, we want to also acknowledge that this incredible soul power that you maintain vessel quality between Neptune and Jupiter converts into this action. So please confirm this for me because I've always been fascinated about this. You do experience all of these as 12th house planets, but because Capricorn is your AC, you identify with it. It's something
I
that
do,
is
from my like experience or study or whatever, I've experienced Mars, Jupiter is 12th house planets.
right.
Neptune and Moon, I don't know if much about, I guess, in the 12th house. I'm just a relatively new student to astrology, but I definitely consider Jupiter and Mars to be 12th house. Gemini Brown,
Good
I
to know.
know that he talked very highly of you. I did his class Lions Den for a while, and he did one of my natal chart readings, and The way he explained it was very accurate for me.
Nice.
So I think yes is the answer.
Okay, cool. Because what I wanted to establish, and it's important too, because you've already progressed into an aqua rising, so it's inevitably going to be
I'm
12.
actually at a
But
progressed Pisces rising now.
oh, that's amazing. Because now you have the Neptune transiting there first, so you're transcending your identity. And thank you for telling me that, because next year when Jupiter goes through, that's going to be your true first house chapter. So it's going to feel like you're starting
That'll be
a
right around the
brand.
time the nodes align.
Exactly. Oh my God. So it's
And
going
my
to really be like
progressed moon goes
you're
into
stepping in.
Taurus in September, October, so
Wow. Okay, so it's going to be
it's
going.
all lining up.
Yeah. That is amazing. That's so amazing. Um, yeah. I would say now the nodes have unlocked your Sag energy or magic, but yeah, I just wanted to make that distinction because the difference between you being born as like a 1 degree aqua versus 29 degrees is that you still gain it through the progression, but now the 12th house Mars that will have you, I kind of like to see this as like being in the spiritual closet. It's like you're standing in front of someone, but the feelings you have and the desire you have is like right behind you. It's your thinking, it's internal, right? Versus if it
Maybe
was
I
in the
am a
first
first
house.
house Mars then because I'm incredibly loud about it and I've always been awfully loud about magic. I made a vow to
Well,
the gods to never deny it and I haven't. Like
oh, that
that's a
is
big deal for
amazing.
me.
Well, see, there's the thing. And this is what I wanted to illustrate. There's a reason why you felt it's the 12th house, but it's also the first because Capricorn is your first. Because if we did the whole signs, it's your first house. But it blends both. So it's like 12th house in the sense where you can keep it internal, but since your AC is capped, you identify with it. So you'll still be
That
French
makes
Street
sense.
with it. But I'm just saying it like that because you basically have you can blend the 12th and the first that way versus your Neptune, which is textbook 12th house for sure because it's in Sagittarius and it's 12th house directly from your AC, which makes you a complete and total legend. And of course, as a legend and karmic lord, you would definitely, or karmic lady, you definitely like bring magic back for the clan. And that's amazing
That's
too,
all I
because
gotta do.
right. And I kind of think of the magicians where they went on that whole season to bring magic back to Fillory when it got turned off and really grounding the wisdom of how to live one's life, integrating that into real phenomena. So I'm glad the work has definitely been done in that vein. And outside of
We're
that,
definitely getting there.
oh yeah. And I just kind of personally want to illustrate too, this came with a lot of work. You know, you put in
Yeah.
so much work. See, the thing about having
Lifetimes
this,
of work.
no, but like literal lifetimes. Like that's what the Saturn
Literal.
on the South Node shows, it's like every lifetime and that's the thing. Saturn is a whole burden. It's an extreme burden because you're literally, it's not an individual burden, it's a social burden. So you're bridging this so
Oh yeah.
complex, taking the responsibility for others in the case where they don't come through and you still hold space for them. Like that's crazy
I have no
badass.
choice.
Crazy good.
But it's
So
excellent.
did you have any questions at all so far?
Do you remember any of your past lives?
You know what? No. I mean, I've come to accept that my past life is tied to my angelic origin, but I've never
Hmm.
necessarily had any like visions or memories of specific details. I did have a past life regression though that was unexpectedly awesome, but I'm gonna say no. I don't necessarily remember specifics. I just have an
It's
idea of
interesting
what
you
it
said
is.
that. My first work life was from an angelic realm or heaven, Yushan, and I don't remember that. It was some sort of like agreement that I made to not remember it in that life, but very interesting. I bet you've got a lot of them back there that will eventually come to you.
Yeah, I really feel like I was meant to awaken to it in my 30s, and now I'm finally like 31. So yeah,
I'm very
I'm
excellent.
looking
I
forward.
appreciate the reading, and I'm definitely going to get you your reading. And thank you.
No problem. I feel really inspired from this consultation, and thank you so much for, everything you're doing and with all of us, and I really look forward to keeping in touch with you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Likewise, and you have a blessed week.
You too. Bye.